Steven, KC3DSO. I just realized I forgot my GoPro camera at home, so I'm living with my still camera to do these videos. But I'm at the opening weekend of the Shenandoah National Park. It's March 31st, and I'm at Big Meadows. They open up Big Meadows and Lewis Mountain in the central section of the park first. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up my tent over here, and my truck is here, which I'm gonna set up my radios inside of it on my desk, and I'll show you that setup once I get going. And I got a couple of new things I've got going on here. So the tent I'm going to be using tonight is it's a REI. It's called the Evergreen, and this is the Starry Night. So I'm going to try that. It's a little bit, well, it's not designed for this weather I'm going to be using it in. I'm supposed to be using it, you know, it's a 2 or 3 season tent, but it's here I'm using it. I'm probably pushing the limits just a tad. It's supposed to snow tomorrow night, 1 to 3 inches, and there's a chance, the rangers told us they want to let me register for 1 night, even though I plan to be here for 3. So they wanted me to be aware that there was a chance they could ask us all to leave tomorrow, someday midday, if it's looking like a bad event. So I don't know what's going to happen or where I'm going to be. I'm kind of reluctant to set up a whole bunch of stuff, but I think I am still going to set up an antenna, at least my dipole here in this little spot, and have it go that way. You can't put anything on the trees here, but some people do have, I see, have hammocks. But so I'm going to try it and see what I can get out of it. I think if I put a mast here, or one of the little masts, I should be okay. I think what I'll do is I'll set it up using the front of my truck as a mast point, and if it comes down to it that I get to stay for a couple of nights, and I'll take it off and move it over here. It takes a couple of minutes to do. So let me go and get this tent up. I'll give you a tour of that once I get it up. But I did bring 2 other tents. I brought my regular one that I use, that is the U.S. Marine Corps combat tent, and I've also got a solo tent that I'm going to try as well. So let me get going here before the sun falls. Okay, so this is the Starry Night, the Evergreen. It's really in one of the REI tents. It's actually a very simple tent to put up. It took me a couple minutes to do it. You get 2 poles. There's a crossbar attached to this one, and the back crossbar is attached to that pole. So you just, when you set them up, you just do them opposite. They have the quick clips here that just pop right into place, and as you can see, it's really designed as a fair weather tent. It's all screen on the top, so when it's nice, you can zip up the sides and just keep this top open. I'm going to go ahead and put on the tent fly, and the way that's designed to put on is you can actually roll it up about halfway. There's another bar attached to the tent fly, it looks like, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that on. And that's what this extra clip here is for. It's for the bar that goes across here in the center, so that when you decide to pull the tent fly up a little bit, you can attach it here, and it gives you a really nice view, I guess, or all the way down to one of the crossbars, whichever way up you probably can do it. But as you can see inside, it's got a decent amount of room. So I'm going to go ahead and set up inside of here and see how it is. It's basically a no-frills tent, supposedly 2, maybe 3 seasons. It's got a couple of pockets there and one here, but what I like is the big doors. As you can see, they're just huge. They're really nice for getting stuff in and out if you got pets or something, and I mean, it's just a pretty good thing here for access. So I'm going to go ahead and stake out the corners, and then I'm going to go ahead and get the tent fly up, and I'll see where we are. Okay, so here's the Evergreen Starry Night completely set up. I got the pegs out on all the corners. I have a ground cloth underneath of it. Basically, it's just a military tarp that is excuse me, reflective on one side and OD on the other. That works good for reflecting a little bit of the heat back up inside. But I've got a large sleeping pad and my down sleeping bag that I'm going to be using. The down bag is Big Agnes Hogan Park, and this is the camp bed 3.5. if I'm just doing car camping, obviously like I am, these are fantastic air mattresses. I mean, it's like almost like sleeping at home. But this goes on very simply. There's a built-in pole, as you can see here, that goes the ridge line here, and all you do is just run it across. There's a clip here and a clip on the opposite side, and then all you do is put the opposite side into this grommet and then just snug down the sides, and green goes to green. The clip here goes to the green here, and it works perfect. So it's a nice little tent so far. It's got a bathtub floor in it. What other features? I mean, it's a basic tent. You're not gonna, get Four Seasons stuff out of this by any stretch of the imagination. But if it snows tomorrow night, I'll see how it does. Looks like it's got a pretty nice little roof here. These supports aren't too bad, but I can see it dipping here in the middle. I can see some high winds being some problems because there is no support here. There is no wind. There is a spot here that you can use it's a bungee cord, and what this is designed to do is to roll this up, and then you can use this to fasten it. So you could, if you had to, you could tighten this down a little bit more, get one of those tarp clip things and make this a little bit sturdier, but then you can lose some interior headroom inside by pulling this down. But it's a compromise. So for ease of use, I had it up in 7 minutes. So it's really simple to do. Just 2 poles, one on each side. This one had the crossbar for this side, and the back one had the crossbar for this side, and then the simple center pole that's attached to the tarp so you can't lose it. So it's a cute little package. We'll see how it does. It looks pretty roomy inside. Once I get some stuff set up in there, I'll get in and take a look-see. But being netting on the top is certainly not, 3.5, 4 seasons, not by any stretch. But I think you could do it with a slight snowfall. But we'll see. Once I get it set up, I'll do a little bit more. Okay, so this is the Evergreen. It was good. It's roomy, plenty enough for 2 people. It's easy to set up. It rained cats and dogs last night, as you can see. Everything up here is soaking wet. And there's a bit of a fog, but the sun has started to come out now, so that's good. My solar panel is starting to charge my battery. So there was no water intrusion with it, but clearly you can tell it's not a 4-season tent. And it's not designed to be. It's a 3-season tent, fair weather thing. A little cooler. The wind was constantly whipping in through this, so it made it a little bit cooler inside. There's actually a breeze inside, so a 4-season tent, or a 3.5 one, probably wouldn't have that. It's a much tighter mesh to prevent air from coming in like that. But it held up good. There was a lot of wind. The first night I was here, Saturday night, the top of the tent was literally moving probably 6 to 8 inches one way and 6 to 8 inches the other. But it never failed. It didn't fail. The aluminum poles held well. Nothing bent, nothing ripped, and nothing came down. So it's a pretty good deal here. So this is the Evergreen. And I have one of those Rei Camp Mats, and it's the extra large, and it went from one end to the other with no problem, plenty of room to spare. It's an extra large mat, so it took up a lot of space. The 2 doors are nice, but there's no vestibules, so you have nowhere to store any of your equipment. This is more of a car camping gig anyway. So, okay, well, that's the Evergreen. And thanks for watching. It's got a couple small vents up here too. You can open up in warmer weather as well. Not just the ones here for the starry night. So I'm going to go ahead and take this down and get ready to head home. Thanks for watching. Well, as you can see, my solar controller is telling me my 20 amp hour lithium ion battery, lithium iron phosphate battery is full. And it's a very cloudy day, as you can see. There's very little sun, but there was some poking its head out earlier. I'm making another cup of coffee here. But this is my power station that I use. Whoops. Go ahead and turn this sucker off here. The MSR wind burner has got to be my favorite stove of all time, and I've gone through some stoves in the last 40 years. It's just simplistic in design. It boils water like knows no tomorrow. Anyway, so this is what I'm using. I'm not using my truck at all. It's a large diesel. It's got 2 batteries in it, and I got a rig runner and lights in the back and everything for running radio stuff, and charging things and running stuff. But I don't want to use that. I'm trying to be 100% independent on the solar, and this is working pretty good. Now, the battery was topped off before I left the house, but I've ran a radio last night. I use it to run the lights inside the camper, inside the truck rather. I just unplugged the rig runner from the power that comes from the batteries and just plug from the batteries in the truck to this battery here, and I can run everything in the back off of the battery, which is what I've been doing. I also use it to charge all my devices, which would be my phone, the GPS, and things like that. So this has been working out pretty good. So the basic setup here is this. This is the charge control. It's a Renogy. It's waterproof, and it does LiFePO 4 batteries, the lithium iron phosphate batteries. You can see it's reading 13.7 and the battery's full, even though I've been charging my devices. This is the battery that I was using last night to run some lights also. This is the one that stays inside my backpack that I use to recharge my phone if I'm out somewheres. It's a PowerPot lithium ion battery. And of course my iPhone. This is the one I was using last night to run lights inside the tent. When I was sleeping last night. I got a couple sets of cables. This is a very short run because you should have the controller as close as possible to the battery. So this is a very short run. It goes from here to this little black cable here, and that's it. This is a USB adapter with the power pole, creates 2 USB ports, and this has been good. I can run this to run just about anything, obviously with the USB capability and the power pole. So it's really a multi-use device. This is the long cable set that I made, and I use this when I have to keep the solar panels a little farther away for whatever reason. It gives me a little bit more reach, but it's obviously more efficient to be as close as possible. This is the set of cables that came with the original charge controller. The original controller didn't do the lithium iron phosphate, nor was it waterproof, and I thought that was a little absurd. That it wasn't waterproof, yet the panels are waterproof. This is one of the Renogy suitcases, and it works very, very nicely. I've been very happy with it. It's a very sturdy aluminum frame. Now, it's not nearly as portable or backpackable by any stretch. This is definitely a car camping or not that far to walk type thing. And okay folks, so this is the antenna setup that I've got going on now. I went ahead and stretched this out a little bit. The SWRs aren't bad. I've had better with this antenna, but I think part of it is because I don't have it really high off the ground. But let me go ahead and show it to you the way I've got this hooked up anyway. These are the 2 masts. As you can see, one of them is the fiberglass mast, and it's got aluminum sections up to the last 2, which are done fiberglass. It's on a small pulley there, so once I get it up, I can raise and lower this thing and do whatever needs to be done. It just seems to be the simplest way for me to get it up there, because this is a little precarious lifting it in place, and it's easier when a matching unit is down here on the ground, and I just pull it up after I get the mast up. And this is the MFJ fiberglass mast, which is holding the dual bander up there, and I've got just coax running into the back of the truck like I do with this. Now I've got 100 feet of coax, which is what they recommend. I certainly don't need it to get to the back of the truck, so I kind of got it stretched out here a little bit just so I could try it. It's running into what's going to be the operating position inside the truck. So here is, I'm going to be on 3905. 3901 is 1.5, which really isn't bad. 3905 is 1.5, 1.6 or so. So that's not bad. I think you guys can, let me zoom in a little bit and you guys can see that. So it's 3905, 39, 1.6, which isn't bad. Let's go ahead and try something else. Let's see. Let's try 7200, and we're getting 1.3. Let me zoom it in a little bit. As you can see, there's 1.3 and 7201, which isn't bad. These are usable without a tuner. So let's go ahead and do, let's do 14, let's do 20 meters and see what we got there. 14, 225, 14, 250, 250, there's 250 at 1.3, so that's not bad either. So, you know, we're looking at something here that's not too bad. There's 1 to 10. If I can get this down here, well enough. So the antenna itself is an end-fed 80 to 10, and you can see it's not very high. You're not allowed to bring slingshots here into the national park, and trees are kind of So anyway, I just got it's up in this one limb, and then it goes up into the other limb, and then back down to the right over this other tree here, and then over to that far tree, that little taller one in between these, that's kind of half there. It's got a broken limb on it, and I just tucked it inside the limb. So it's a very precarious installation, to say the least. I don't have what I really should have, is my slingshot with my weighted tennis ball in it. It would have gone right up in there, and that would have been a simple thing. I kind of like the inverted V setup, that it goes up that way and comes back down, but we'll go ahead and try this and see what we got. The SWRs are clearly good enough. And what I'll do is I'm going to set my radio station up in here. I got some of the parts down there. I've got the other antenna in place, and I'll show you guys how that works here in a couple minutes. My solar thing is working good there. I'm going to go ahead and move it, the battery in here, to run all my radio gear. So I'll be back in a minute. Trying to get this focused on here. It's not very bright. There's this is the station here. I've got Winmore running with my Signal Link, my Tough Book, and my 891, and that's the D710 I've been using for comms as well. Let me see if I can get this in here. Man, there's a lot of traffic here for me. A lot of messages. This thing's going to be squealing for a few minutes. There's the TNC information there. I apologize for the quality of this audio video. I forgot my GoPro. So I got 3 messages waiting for me. You can see the 3 Y's there at the bottom. If I get this, I apologize for this dadgummit. So you can see the messages there. It gives you the quick subject line and who they're from. So we're going to let this go through. I'm not going to record this. There's one message. You can see it went from right to left, which means I'm downloading it. And you can see on the bottom there it says receiving on the low left there. So I'm not going to record this whole thing. It's the same thing over and over again. But here, I'll turn it up a little bit and let you see. There's the 891. And the SWRs, I think it's under, what, 1.2 or so? I can't see through the screen well. But I'm running about 45 watts, I think it is. And I have an external speaker hooked up because I was outside cooking dinner and I wanted to hear the net at 1830. So there's my D710 that I'm going to use for packet here in a few minutes. And there's an external Motorola speaker that I've got. I'm going to get a magnet on the back of it so I can just tack it on the side here and be able to listen to it outside. So as you can see, the message is coming. There it is there. There's the second one in line. Okay. There's the TNC again there. So let's get another light on in here. There's another one. So it's almost done with that one. As you can see, I'm trying not to zoom it too much because to keep it in focus there a little bit, and there it goes. So this is the station that I'm using camping, and this is the antennas that I showed you, the end fed that's on the mast. I just got finished checking into the Delmarva Aries mat net on 3905, and this is my Hardig desk. As you can see, I got my stuff in here and all the containers, drawers, and I got a little desk spot here. So I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna make some. These are really nice for. Man, the video is not that good. It's out of focus here a little bit. Let me back it out. So these are really nice for drilling holes in. So I think I'm gonna make a rack system that I can just slide the radios into on this side, and keep this side open for the laptop and for writing, keeping notes and such. So, but I mean, it does work. I have a large Go box, a 4U Go box, and it would fit on here on this side, but it'd hang over a little bit. I kind of like the individual components in here as this is set. So this one is coming here, as you can see. It's coming right across the screen. This is one of the reasons why I enjoy camping, and you get to play ham radio, and there's nothing like practicing your portable setups. You talk about Aries and moving outside your comfort zone. You can grab all your stuff and set it up outside over and over and over again. That's going to put just about any kind of deployment inside your comfort zone, especially if you do this camping in inclement weather. We got 3 inches of snow coming in tonight in the Shenandoah National Park. This is the opening weekend. So we'll see how it is. Tomorrow I'll probably spend some time hiking, but I will play radio a little bit. So this is almost done. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off to save my battery. You can see it should zip right across here a little bit. Okay, so I got one of the messages, and now I'm reconnecting to send the outbound message. So now we're going to see it go from, left to right. This bar here is going to turn green as it sends a message. So there's the TNC. Now this is 30 meters, and it's 10:142. And this has generally been better. Obviously much less traffic here. So here goes my message. There it goes there. There's the 891, as you can get it in focus here. There you go. And there's the signal link. Again, I apologize for this video. I forgot my YouTube camera in the back of my truck, and it's dark, and I got some LED lighting, which is messing with the thing there a little bit. Now, I think I've got a message coming in also. Whoops. It doesn't focus real good on the screen. I apologize for that. Really irritated. I forgot my GoPro. Look at that. There it goes. So, alright, well, I'll have some more part of this video. As you can see, it's WD4SEN right there. I'm using my camera for this. I apologize again for the video. This is craziness. So anyway, I'll be back here and I'll see what's. I'll do something else here once this finishes. Well, it's lunchtime and I've got some breakfast stuff that looks like it's going to go bad. So I'm going to go ahead and cook it now. And as you see, I've got my wind burner stove. And I've got a little adapter that allows me to use the pan on it. I've got some sausage cooking there. I've got some eggs here. Coffee and creamer. And this is the wind burner, probably one of my favorite stoves. It's been a workhorse for many, many things. The cook set is just one I picked up off of, I think it was eBay. It was like $12. And it comes with this thing, the lid for this saucepan, the net bag, and a bunch of other stuff that I don't carry. But this has been a very, very nice little set for one person, even two people or so. So I'm getting ready to take these off here because this is just about done. It's starting to stick. And I'm going to sit down and enjoy my eggs here in just a couple of minutes. I'll be back. Okay, so I've got my eggs done pretty much. I'm just melting a little bit of cheese in here. I cut up 2 of the sausages and they're in there. So we're going to be ready to go here in just about a minute or so. We're going to whip up another cup of coffee. This is the jet boil utensils, which are pretty slick. You know, they just push a button and they collapse to nothing, and they've been very hardy. So I like using these. So that's about it. I'm going to sit back and enjoy another cup of coffee, and while this melts real fast, and then I'm going to have myself some lunch. Hope everybody has a great day. Okay, so this is a Fireball whiskey miniature, but obviously I don't have. It's kind of tasty stuff, but that's not what's in the bottle. This is used for holding oil, and this is a very common practice. These are very durable, very thick, and they give you a really nice positive seal. So they're good for carrying around oils and stuff like that. So you don't want them to break or leak or something inside of your pack, your kit. This is the ring that I use. I heard rumor that there was an adapter that MSR was coming out with, but I've never seen it, so I ended up making one. This is actually the jet boil ring, pot ring, and all I did was cut the hole out much larger, because this is obviously a much larger burner. The little notches fit perfectly around the outer ring, and it just sits right in place. Whoops, that one's folded in, just like that, and it's down. I sat on it yesterday, so it's a little bent. I need to sit here and actually bend it a little bit and get it back into place. But with the pot on it, it sits really nice. Just gonna bend this one side in a little bit, I think. And then it just sits right on top, and it's been a nice little accessory. It's a little precarious in that you're now setting a pot up on top of here. The other option, of course, is simply just getting the MSR pots that have the thing on the bottom there, the heat exchanger on the bottom, but they're very expensive. Here I get to use my $10-12 cook set with this stove, and I only have to carry one stove, and it's really nice, or I only have to carry the one pan or so if I need it. So this is a simple little addition. It's got sharp edges on it, so I keep it inside of a cloth bag inside the pack when I know I'm going to be doing some kind of stirring or something like that. This is, like I said, it's been a fantastic stove. It's starting to rust a little bit inside there. I'm going to have to try to clean that out a bit. I'd hate to lose this thing. They have a couple of newer versions out now, bigger ones. But this I have found has been just a perfect size for me. There's the heat exchanger contraption on the bottom. And it's a very positive handle, great for pouring. You do have to snap this down good. If you snap it down good, it will not pop off. But if you fail to snap it down, it will come open. It's got the built-in strainer. It's got a hole in the center, which is used for the coffee press, the handle for the coffee press. And there's the bottom part of the coffee press. But you know, I find it the simplest thing to do is when I make coffee out like this, is I simply just use these bags. There's the Folgers, but there's Maxwell House and all sorts of ones. And I put 2 of them in the cup with the hot water from here, and I'm done. A lot less cleanup, no fuss, no muss. This is easily biodegradable, and of course it will burn if you're in that kind of mood. The coffee grinds in the wrapper, not the package itself. So you still have to pack something out no matter how you do it. But that's about it for me. So that's basically the cook set that I carry, and I've been very, very happy with it. It's a minimalist type thing, and it's just been very, very reliable. This wind burner has been a fantastic stove. I really can't fault it in any way. I've had a blowout once or twice. It just did a few minutes ago when I was just lightly trying to finish up the eggs, and it's because the burner was down so low. But once you light that sucker and it's up, nothing's going to put it out. Hence, that's why it's got these the tall walls on it. So thanks for watching.